I did was my week with depression, which I will link below, alongside my story of anorexia. So basically what this video is it's basically like to raise a bit of awareness, I guess, on the subject. But basically I've been in remission for 4 years. I've been weight restored, I think 3, I don't know. So I'm weight restored, was weight restored, and so I've actually had a formal relapse, which I've never ever had. I've like dipped my toe in and out of the water, but I've never actually relapsed. And so on my medical forms, where it would say, and has been saying anorexia nervosa brackets in remission, they've removed the in remission part, so it's just left as anorexia nervosa, which really hurt when they did that. But I was really fooling myself with thinking that everything was okay when it wasn't. So basically this is going to come on in a few parts, because obviously it's not a short story, it's a long one. Since the second week of January now, I've been convincing myself that I've been in recovery for over 4 years, everything's fine, it's just a blip. The weight loss is just because I'm active, I'm in control, I'm all good, everything's fine. And each time the number keeps coming down, I keep falling into this false illusion of things being okay still. And so I've picked up on it, and so I spoke to my psychiatrist and she's great, spoke to my doctor, he's great, and we're going to do it like us three. In terms of telling my parents and everyone around me, I'm very, very cautious. I don't want people to be let down. I don't really want to talk about it like that. I'm refusing to go back to eating disorder services because I want to fix it myself. And so this is the problem here, is I'm going to try and fix it myself. So basically tomorrow I'm submitting to weigh-in and letting him keep an eye on that. So once he's done that, then it's basically down to me. So we're going to discuss things and see where we go from there. And so basically things have just been really funny. I've been getting cold hands, all these symptoms that, you know, like they start ringing alarm bells. And so basically tomorrow I go to weigh in, and I've convinced myself that once I've weighed in, that's it. Like I am done. I am literally going to get on my hands and knees and beg him to help me fix it, because I do not want to go down this path again. And everyone's like, well, don't be stupid. Like, I know what people are like, and the few people I have told are like, oh, don't be stupid, get over it, you've done it before, you can do it again. I know I've done it before, and I know I've done it again. Like, I know that I'm in a bad place now, but okay, that doesn't get rid of the guilt, that doesn't get rid of the fact that I'm a perfectionist, and that doesn't get rid of the fact that the anorexia is always going to be quite strong. It's not a case of, oh, I'll just shut my brain off and ignore. No, I have to go through it again. And last time I did it, I was a lot worse, okay? This time, I know that my mentality is bad, but I'm not where I was, and that's great. Touch wood, I'm holding on to that, and I believe in myself, and I've got hope. But the point is, I don't want people to turn around to me and say, oh, you've done it before, it's easy. It's not easy. The time I did it, that was blood, sweat and tears. That was the worst thing I had to do in my life. It's been the most challenging thing I have ever had to do. And so to know that I might possibly be having to do it again is really difficult for me. And so I don't want to put other people through this pain that I've been through and I am currently in, because I don't want to let them down. I get weighed in, he monitors that. My psychiatrist sees me, she's absolutely amazing, best psychiatrist I've ever had in my life. I'm going to do a video on my experiences with psychiatrists anyway, she's amazing. So all it needs now, I have to be in charge of intake. Like, there's no one else can do that for me. No one there, none of us three is a nutritionist, but the only person that knows what should be going into my body is me, because I've done it before and I know what I'm supposed to be eating. Only problem is, this time round I'm pushing it, because like before I just submitted, I was like, okay, yeah, cool, I'll just not eat that. But this time around I'm very much like, come on Chloe, like just do it, just eat this. I know it's not planned, I know it's not scheduled, I know it's not in like an okay calorie amount, but just eat it. And I put it in my mouth and I'm chewing and chewing and chewing, and I end up spitting it out, and I'm like, that's not right. That's new, but it's not right. So yeah, anyway, that's the deal. I'm gonna start now just sort of vlogging it if I can keep up with it, and just sort of discussing it all. So in terms of like family and friends and everything, as I said, really nervous about actually telling people. I don't want people to get angry at me or shout at me, because it just makes it worse. So the idea here is that hopefully by tomorrow I'll be in a better position to put my hands up and say, I can't do this on my own. Like I might be in a better position to say, look, I'm okay, but I'm really struggling at the minute and I need your support. But it's how that comes across. Like I don't want it to come out without me, like, I don't want it to come out further down the line when I'm really unwell, if it gets to that. But at the same time, I don't want it to come out by them guessing. I want it to come out from me, and that's the thing. It's the bravery that you need, and you can't get past that. And then there's no hope for telling people. So hopefully I'll speak to my doctor tomorrow, who's amazing, and discuss like where we go from here. I'm talking about my birthday and saying, look, when I'm better, I'll be able to eat this. So I'm prepping myself for the fact that I am fully intent on sorting this out. It's just, am I going to keep tricking myself into saying tomorrow, or am I going to put my hands up and fix it myself? Or am I going to say to people, look, okay, I'm fixing it myself, but I just really need you right now, if that sort of makes sense. And it's really, really hard, because obviously I'm in a really loving relationship. I love my partner to pieces, but I just can't risk letting him down. Obviously, by the time this goes out, they'll all know. So it's not like I'm telling you guys before I'm telling them, because I know that they'll be all like, oh, you told everybody else. No, I'm technically telling you now. But I intend on telling them at some point. It's just when that point is. Now, in terms of the weight loss, I'm not in a position, obviously I'm never going to disclose things like that, except for say it's significantly gone quite quickly, because it was like the second week of Jan, and now we're in a whole different situation. So it works out as about 5 or 6, I think it's 6 weeks or so since things have been like bad, and they just sort of escalated. And I suppose partly that's my fault, because I caved. Like I let myself go, okay, that's fine. Like I gave in too much. But I think that's because I'd had no problems with it for so long. My forehead looks really shiny. I hadn't had problems with it for so long. And so I think that in a way I was trying to pacify it and think, well, if I do this, it might go away. Whereas before I used to just do it because I was terrified. But this time I'm like, it's fine, I'll do it, and then hopefully it will go away and everything will be fine. That's not working so well. So now I'm stepping up my fight game, and I'm not giving into it because I don't want to. And it's bloody freezing. Seriously cold. So yeah, that's the plan. I'm going to try and vlog. This is probably going to be in 2 pieces anyway. But I'm going to sort of discuss it all as the process goes on. I know that things aren't good right now, and it's down to me and me alone to fix it. As Demi Lovato says, scariest thing in life is when the only person that can save you is yourself, and you realise that. And as my psychiatrist says, resilience comes from adversity. So, more adversity, more resilience. I had a photo shoot, which was really good. It made me feel really positive, but it's about turning this around now, and I've got so much to live for, and I can't risk putting my body in this. Like, I know I would never go that underweight again, and I know that my body wouldn't let me get like that again, but the point is, I don't want to push it. I don't want to push my body into a point where, I mean, it's already screaming at me that there's an issue, but I don't want to put my body into a position where it's stuck and it starts to fall apart again, because I can't do that again, and I don't know how long I would survive like that. They told me from day one, you know, any sort of like blip that goes too far, you could risk losing your life. And so that's really scary for me, and I don't want people to think that I'm being ungrateful for everything I've been through, or just like tempting fate, anything like that. I am genuinely trying here. So that's basically what's going on. As I said, I'll keep you in the loop with it all. I'm working at the same time. You know, I've got a knee operation at some point this year as well, so there's loads of different things that I need to be well for, and I will not do this to my sister. I will not, and I refuse to let anorexia in at all, because this year is my sister's year. Like, from New Year's Eve, when she got engaged, this is her year. Like, I don't want any attention on me at all. I don't know what's going on, but I'm going to fix it myself. Tearful again. This is her year. I'm not going to be the bridesmaid that's anorexic. I don't know why I did that. I don't want to be the bridesmaid that's the problem. I don't want to put my sister through it again. Me and my sister had such a good relationship growing up. P. Me and my sister had such a good relationship, like, growing up, and then with it all, it fell apart, and it was really, really hard. And so I think we've just got back to where we were, and so I refuse to do that again. I went to the doctor's today, and again, he is the best doctor in the world. I actually am not wearing makeup today, so I apologise. He is the best doctor in the world. Always has been to me. He got me better, okay? Like, I didn't get better by a psychiatrist's help with my anorexia. I got better between me, my mum, and my GP, okay? So, he's been keeping tabs on it, and as I said, like, he said, like, you've been saying give me one more chance and just wait for like 7 weeks now. And I've said fine, I won't send you back to eating disorders. To be honest with you, eating disorder services never did anything for me. I never found them helpful or anything. I spoke to him, I walked in and he said, look, you know, like, you look worse. And he said, I'm a wee bit worried that we've got more to deal with than we thought. And so there was a lot of truth spoken, there was a lot of things that I said that I had kept bottled up, and how I felt. I said I feel like every time I say okay I will, she gets back in and changes that. And so he said, well, look, come on, like, you're worse, and that was the deal. And I basically said, like, flat out, I was like, look, give me one more, like, give me until the next appointment, please. Which, he's on leave next week, and he's back for the 27th, I think my appointment is. Anyway, so he's on leave, and I see my psychiatrist on the 29th, so they're both in the same week, so they'll both get like a rough idea where we go. And so my brain's in two minds. Do we change it and, like, prove them, like, you know, look, I've done it, I'm doing really well, let's just keep going? Or do I try and push it further and then start? But then, am I actually going to start if I keep doing that? Like, it's not going to happen. So I've just spoken with one of my best friends, and basically, like, made my breakfast with her on the phone, and ate with my new spoon, and just sort of, like, talked over everything and said, like, look, my anorexia is just going to keep turning it. It's just going to keep turning it round and round. My pulse rate is really high, is what he said. So he's took some urgent blood tests, because he wants to check things like potassium and my iron levels and things like that, because I'm bruised, like, all over my legs. They're horrific. So he's going to check that. I made the deal not to be too active today, and to sort of just go to work, come back from work, sort of just a normal weekend, like, just slob around, just chill, like, save some of your energy up, and get to a point where the calorie intake is in a position where it's actually going to help my brain to function properly, and so I can actually negotiate with myself. So yeah, that was done, that was said. He is very, very good at it, and as he said, like, you're very unwell. Like, he was just like, I'm not saying it any other way, you're very, very unwell, and if we don't start intervening, it's going to get worse. So we came to the decision of, like, what calorie intake to be on, and to slowly, like, sort it out. I still haven't decided whether to speak up or not, because I don't want things to get worse. I don't want to have nothing, ironically, I don't want to have nothing left to hide, if that makes sense, because at the weekends, bar, like, last weekend and the weekend before, where I could avoid everyone for whatever reason and manage to get away with less, most weekends I sit with people, and I tend to sort of eat properly, or at least, like, more, and that's because I don't want people to know. I don't want people to be let down. And so through that, I'm actually better off than if I was to tell people and have them all, like, suffocate me with